And we are live. What is going on out there today, guys? Hope you're having a great day so far, wherever you are. Yeah, Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. And if you missed this morning's live stream, I had Jeff Jacklich with me, top player in the 60s in the U.S. Won a gold ball about a year ago here at a tournament at the Wilson World Tennis Classic. And great guy, good friend. And we worked on a couple of different overheads. It's What's the Right Shot number 328. You can find it in the channel. It's there listed either as a recent video or under the playlist for What's the Right Shot. Look, real quick here, I want to just share something with you about what I got from my coach back in the day, Tom Stowe. And what he told me was, look, mental toughness is really unique. It's really personal. And he said basically what we're going to do is I'm going to we're going to create some fundamentals that you got to have in your game, some stroke technique fundamentals that you got to have. And it doesn't matter what kind of personality you've had. It doesn't matter what kind of style of play you want to play, whether it's going to be pure serve and volley, whether it's going to be pure stay back, serve and stay back, whether you're just going to wait around for a short ball and maybe move on in, whatever your style of play is, singles and or doubles, there are a couple of fundamentals that are just non-negotiable, which were kind of his words. And number one was spacing. You've always got to make sure that your feet are helping you create the right spatial distance away from the path of that incoming ball, whether it's a return to serve, whether it's an approach shot, whether it's a forehand or backhand ground stroke, whether it's a volley, whether it's an overhead. What you'll see today, or if you missed if you missed the live version this morning of the two overheads, I mean, a lot of that footwork is all about getting the right spatial distance away from where you want the ball to be at contact. And when you do that, man, you just create so much more repeatable swing freedom. So spacing is really number one. And then the other thing too was he always said, you got to make sure that you get into the racket prep, the hitting position instantly, right? It can't be something where you go, okay, well, I got the right spacing, but I'm going to kind of get turned. I'm going to kind of get the racket ready. No, man, all that stuff's got to happen immediately. So those were a couple of the fundamentals. But the thing that he really impressed upon me was he said, once you get these fundamentals in place, these technical fundamentals in place, then what he wants you to do is to take your own unique personality and lay it down on top of those fundamentals. So he would never have told me, well, you got to be a baseline only guy, right? He knew I grew up, he knew that I grew up playing mostly baseball, right? Played mostly shortstop and third base. So there was a lot of short hop stuff, right? And so for me, kind of moving forward, taking the ball on the rise, the short hop was just instinctive, was natural for me. And he just encouraged me. He said, look, I think you ought to be that kind of player that moves forward, that takes the ball early. Now, if your personality is such that you're risk averse, maybe that's not great. And he would have said, if you're risk averse, then let's do something else. But he knew with me that, okay, your personality is such that you're willing, because of your training in baseball, to be able to move forward, taking the rise, and kind of play that more style, right? Of moving in and taking time away and getting up to net as fast as you can and forcing guys to pass you. And that was it. So what I encourage you to do with toughness is really decide, based on your unique personality, really what's the style of play that works best for you. And look, if you've got someone out there coaching you or teaching you, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, that may be fine if that works into your unique personality. But if it doesn't, then, maybe you go find someone else, or you try to explain to that. And I'm about to sneeze here, so hold on there with me. I'm trying to hold back the sneeze. Anyway, I think you get my drift on that, right? Is that so important that not only are you working a style of play that works into your unique personality, but if you're getting coached, that your coach understands that as well. And anytime I see or I hear from someone go, well, my coach says I have to do this and I have to do that, In terms of a few fundamentals, that's fine. But in terms of your style of play and your because if you're being forced to do something that's not copacetic with whoever you are, I'm telling you, it's really tough to be mentally tough in those matches where you're playing someone that's right there at your level. And as we all know, Djokovic, number one in the world, far and away, right? And he's only winning 51, 52% of the points he plays throughout the entire year. And so, if that's your margin against someone who's right there at your skill level, let's say you're a 4-0, just throwing out there for example, and you're playing another 4-0. Both of you guys have plenty of matches in the computer, and it says bona fide, you guys are both 4-0s. Well, I mean, if you play 10 matches, you ought to win 10. I mean, you ought to win 5, and that opponent ought to win 5, right? How do you move the needle from going from 50-50 to 60-40 in your favor? Well, to me, it's more about, is your unique personality suitable for the style of play that you're trying to play? And if it is, I'm telling you, during those tough matches, you'll have way more confidence in being able to go from 50 to 50. And even if you win 52% of the points, you're going to win the match, right? So, long-winded deal about mental toughness. I've just found that I had to really trust what worked best for me with my unique personality. And I would have other guys going, you know what? I don't know why. Why do you do this? Why do you risk? You just got passed 3 times in a row. Why do you keep coming in? Yeah, it's just because I don't think the guy can continue to do that over and over and over again. And so, am I risk averse in that? Probably not. Probably not. But you got to figure it out for yourself. Where do you feel the most comfortable? So, 2 things I've got for you. Number 1 is my email address right there below me, brent@webtennis.com. Look, if you have a question about anything, don't be a complete 100% stubborn do-it-yourselfer, right? Where you've just decided, well, I'm gonna glean some little nuggets here and there. I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I think you ought to be figuring it out on your own in terms of looking for some confirmation, some affirmations in terms of, here's who you are as a person. Here's your unique personality. Are the things that you're looking at, do they really fit into that? Or are you getting kind of hyped into some kind of headline going, if you're not doing this well, if you're not playing the so-called modern way of whatever, then it's not going to work out. That's just a bunch of crap. So look, shoot me an email. Any questions? And it's not a sales pitch. I guarantee it. I'll certainly won't post it. We'll keep it private, and whatever you ask me, I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I'll give you a suggestion. I'll tell you what works for me. I don't want to be the guru. I don't want to be the guy who stands up there in the throne and says, "Here's the way to do it." I'm going to tell you what works for me. And this last year, 2023, what works for me was huge. I mean, I've never had a year like that. 6 national titles, a world doubles title, end of the year rankings, number 1 in the US, singles and double, and number 1 in the world in doubles. Dang it. So I figure that if I can pass on a little bit of what works for me to you, that it's certainly worth you considering. Maybe it's not the answer, the formula, but it's worth your time to consider it. The other thing I want to help you with, and what really helped me this year, was a lot of mindset training. Part of that mindset training was what we do between points. And if you've been with me before, then you've heard this spiel. If you're brand new, then what I'm going to tell you is I got a free course for it. It's a free video course. And it's really the 80-20 reality. And the 80-20 reality goes like this. 80% of the time that we're on the court playing a match, we're not playing points. It's either spent between points or in side changes, right? I mean, look, between points, the rules say you get 25 seconds. We all don't always use all of the 25 seconds. But if you were to take all the 25 seconds, and play points, how long does a point last? Not stats say, the stats say 4 shots or less, comprise about 70% of our matches in terms of points. So that's not very long. That's about 20% of the time we're playing points. My point is, if you manage the 80% when we're not playing. If you manage that super well, you get clarity of how you want to start the next point, and that clarity has a residual effect. It works its way over to the point itself, so that when you're in the heat of battle, that one point, you bring that clarity with you in terms of shot choice and where you want to move to next on the court. The way you can get to my 4 parts between points routine, which is how you manage that 80% of the match, just go to webtennis.com. You'll be asked to drop in a first name and email address, click the button, and you'll get immediate access to that free video course. It is private. I do require that you sign up for it, but that's the way that you can get immediate free access to it. Webtennis.com. All right, look, any questions? You can drop them in the chat area right now, or you can put them in the what's the word, in the comments area down below, or just shoot me an email. Shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. What do we got here? Hi, Brent. How do you stay mentally tough playing against someone who is clearly cheating with their line calls? Yikes. That's not, well, what I do, since I'm playing a lot of tournaments, they're all sanctioned tournaments. It's easy for me to just say to the guy, I think we need some help. I'll give a guy, unless it's an egregious line call that is so stupidly bad, I'm going to go to the guy and go, man, you missed that call by a mile. You sure you want to stick with it? And if they say yes, I'm going to go, well, we need some help. And I just stop the match right there, go to the tournament desk, and get some help. Now, look, if it's a practice match and I'm getting hooked and cheated like crazy, and I've done this before, I'll just say, you know what? I don't need this. I think you're making some really bizarre calls here. We're done. I don't need it. I don't need that stress in practice. There are enough practice partners out there where I can go hang out with and know that worst case, we missed a call. It wasn't intentional. We all miss a call from, now and then. And I'm more than happy to, on a really close call, I think it's out, I'll go out in a practice and go, I'm pretty sure. And, they say, well, it felt good to me. Okay, that's fine. In a match, I'm going to make the call and just do the best I can. But staying mentally tough in that situation, I just don't let it get to me. I just want to get some help. And I kind of feel sorry for that guy, right? I feel sorry for that person who's over there thinking they got to cheat their brains off just to be able to be out there, or thinking that they can get under your skin. It used to work with me, but it doesn't anymore, because I just go get some help. Now, look, if you're playing a USTA league situation or some kind of a match where maybe you can't go get a referee, hopefully what you can do is go to your captain in a league match and say, look, I need someone to help me out here. And typically what happens, someone will come out on the court, stand at the net post, and help out, right? So other than that, I don't expect it. It does happen from time to time. And when it happens, I just know that I've got a plan. I know what I'm going to do. And like I said, if it's just egregious, just go, come on, you got to be kidding me. Okay, we need some help. And I'll stop the match, go get someone from the tournament desk and go. And I won't go back out and finish the match until they either come out from the tournament desk or they find a referee who will do it. And they'll always do it. They'll always do it. So, maybe it's a different situation that you're talking about. Maybe it's not a tournament. Leagues are a little bit trickier. Like I said, you got to find someone who's not an official, but someone who will come out and hopefully who will be honest. But that's what I do. So hopefully that is helpful. Thanks for the question. Appreciate that. Guys, anything else? You can always shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. As always, it is time. Got to get out there. Help someone else. Have a great day, guys. See you again next time.